from all of that in the space of the unrestricted warfare against us. Sean Lin, over to you, sir.
Frank, thank you for inviting me to the webinar. I'm glad I speak after Ms. Yuni Park, because her speech actually reminded me, when we talk about biological warfare from the CCP, actually it encompasses many fields, actually. Even when Mrs. Park talked about the emotional manipulation that CCP can have on General Chen Wei, this reminded me, many Chinese Communist Party member, if you talk to them in daily life, they act like very normal people, family guy. But when they assume the identity of the Communist Party member, when they work in that capacity, they can sacrifice all their own moralities, all standards, all ethics standards. They can just follow the orders, just like those doctors or organ harvestings. Many people cannot imagine why a physician can do that. But when they are following the orders, when they're following the Communist Party's ideology and leadership, when they're in that situation, when they assume their role, they are abandoning their souls and morality standard. So this is actually a very important aspect. And also, in terms of biological warfare, one of the key areas that the CCP working on is brain manipulation, monitoring people's emotion, capture the patterns, and analyze what kind of stimuli can help modulate, manipulate people's emotions, and how do they control people's ideology. So this is another part of the biological warfare as well. And they work very strongly on brain-computer interfaces, different tactics that can capture brain signals and then manipulate it. So that's one aspect. And then regarding the movie, of course, you talk about the biological agent, the microbe as a bioweapon tools. So this part, I think the whole world also need to pay serious attention to it, because a lot of time, our understanding of bioweapons stay in the last century. We talk about anthrax, we talk about these powders you can spread, so you think about capacities or facilities inside China that can build up these like anthrax powders, So these are the traditional way of doing bioweapon. But now, 20 years into the 21st century, we are in a very different age right now. Not only just a gain of function study that can used to generate new pathogens, but there are many other tools, other genetic manipulating tools that can easily create new bioweapons. So I think that the whole world need to understand the threat is totally unprecedented now. And we are in a very dangerous situation. So I'm just maybe briefly mentioned in two areas. One is the mirror life study. So mirror life is one new area. Both US scientists and Chinese scientists are working on it. And in here we see this kind of so-called scientific collaboration also into a field that are very dangerous for human nature. And even last year, about 38 scientists actually published an article in Science to urge a ban on this study, because these mirror life microbe, if they were generated, they are able to evade immune system. They are able to create disaster in the ecosystem, in the nature. These microbes, if they are generated in the reverse mirror forms against their natural form, it can propagate without control, without check. And so these will be a dangerous situation, and this field is moving fast. And also this field can be supported by AI supported analysis, as well as the rapid growth of synthetic biology field. And so nowadays it's very convenient to synthesize molecules, whether it's DNA, proteins, and it's very cheap. And these technology can widely be used in generating new pathogens, as well as generating new molecules, maybe in the reverse mirror forms for these molecules. And then second aspect I want to briefly highlight is actually insect as vectors. These kind of weapon potentials. For one example is actually mosquitoes. And so both Chinese scientists as well Chinese scientists in the United States Institute are working on doing additional genetic manipulations in the mosquitoes. And so, whether it's chikungunya, whether it's Zika, whether it's dengue virus, there are many alpha viruses were transmitted by mosquitoes. But nowadays, not only just the mutation can be generated in these viruses, the mosquito can also be further genetically manipulated to enable them to have to support better propagation of some of the pathogens. In this way, it can create additional danger, and these mosquito vectors can be distributed in a specific location, causing regional controlled epidemic. And this will be a different forms of the bioweapon that can be utilized in a conflict. So there are different potentials that we are facing, and the biotechnology field moving very fast. Bioengineering is evolving very fast, and so CCP we're clearly understanding that they need to take the high ground of the biotechnology as well as bioweapon development. They are not binding to so-called Geneva Bioweapon Convention. Don't trust CCP. You don't even need to have any moment to believe the Chinese government will follow their signed the document contracts. They don't regard any. They don't care any of these. They don't care about human lives. I think the fundamental understanding we can learn from the movie is that the CCP don't care about human life. All they care about is how to use any means possible to make themselves control the power. And so I think we can learn a lot from this movie, and I feel this movie itself is an important tool, important weapon that counters CCP's cognition warfare. I remember with CCP, when they heavily promote their war movie, for example, the battle in the Lake Changjin, talk about the Korean War, how they portray the U.S. Army, how they make Chinese people believe the LPLA is a hero. They can totally twist the history. And I think now we finally see a movie faithfully present what is happening, in terms of CCP's taking advantage of the pandemic and make it a bioweapon, make it a very useful tool for them to harm the whole world. So I think we need to be very, very alarmed on the unrestricted warfare the CCP wage against the United States, against the free world. And it's never too late that we stand up against these kind of unrestricted warfare. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Very powerful observations. And we're going to